Okay, so beginning class in legs up the wall, lying flat on our back with legs straight up a wall, a chair, a sofa, or anything else that allows you to bring your legs up. Now, if you've got tightness in your back or legs, or if you have anything going on like sciatica or nerve impingement or anything, you can bring a pillow or a pile of blankets underneath your bottom to help lift your bottom up and to take the extreme angle out of legs up the wall posture. I'm getting a notice on my screen that my internet connection is unstable. So it might be one of those days where I'm freezing at times. I hope that's not the case. So when we get into this position, we're going to just kind of focus on our breath. See if we can breathe in and out of our nose. So again, for those of you coming in late, we're beginning, or not late, but for those of you just now coming in, we're beginning in legs up a wall pose. And this is lying flat on our back with legs straight up the wall. So pretend I have a wall here, legs going straight up the wall, lying flat on our back. You can bring a pillow or bolster underneath your bottom to help make it more comfortable if you need to. If you don't have a wall, you can place your legs on anything else, on a chair or a sofa, or whatever else you could do that could help you get creative to get your legs up. So kind of the point is getting the legs up above the heart. That's what we're going for, getting the feet above the heart. So make your space cozy. So we do this as an opportunity to just really slow down our body, slow down our mind as well. And I know, for most of us practicing in the morning, it's maybe we don't have a lot to slow down from, but it still helps us to relax. In this position, it also facilitates drainage from our veins and increases circulation. If we have any excess fluid buildup, the gravity helps bring the fluid up into the body rather than down pulled at the ankles or feet or knees. It can soothe the swollen, cramped feet or legs. You might have already realized that it stretches the hamstrings and the low back. If you feel overstretched here, you can definitely bend your knees or place something under your bottom, or I should say, or place something under your bottom. So again, if you're just coming in, we're starting in legs up the wall pose, flat on your back, legs straight up the wall, or on a chair, sofa, or something else. If you don't have anything to prop your legs up on, you can just bend your knees, feet flat on the ground for now. This posture also can help relieve lower back tension, pressure being released from the spine. This is especially true if you are having a pillow or blanket propped under your bottom. This can help promote pelvic floor relaxation. So if we carry a lot of tension in our hips and in our pelvic floor, which a lot of us do and we don't know it, this posture helps release that tension. So regulating blood flow and circulation, relieving swollen ankles. This is especially true in the case of varicose veins in the legs. It helps to relieve pain and pressure from varicose veins. It even can help with the reproductive system in both men and women. This posture can help improve digestion, restore our lower body, help give us energy. So there's a lot of benefits to this posture. Now, for some of us, it's difficult to just be still like this, especially when we're taking a class and we feel like we should be productive in some way. Now, if you were listening to me list off the list of benefits to legs up the wall, you would realize that this stillness is very, very productive. So try not to get caught up on the doing nothing in class. But if lying still just doesn't work for you, do some arm exercises here, raising your arms up overhead or your arms wide and then together and wide and together. This is way to kind of feel like you're being more productive in your exercise. However, again, like I said, that list of benefits of being still, of just resting in the posture is very, very productive. So that's up to you. Right, so it looks like everybody has found a spot that's working for them, and I'm just going to be quiet for the next couple of minutes. Now, while continuing in this position, let's go ahead and bring our focus into our breath. We're going to try to breathe in through our nose and send that breath down into our belly. You can even rest your hands on your lower belly to help kind of focus the breath. So the hands would be rested on either side and below the belly button. And as you breathe in, you would find the abdomen raises against your hands. As you breathe out, the hands can even gently press down to help facilitate that breathing. Just getting the breath as low as we can. Try to continue those deep breaths if you can. If not, just don't think about your breath. Let's for now, with an inhale, reach our arms up and then bring them overhead, just as far as is comfortable for you. Stretch through the fingertips. And then bring hands back up towards the ceiling, palms facing toward each other. And reach the fingertips toward the sky so that you feel your shoulder blades pulling away from each other. So the shoulder blades are moving away from center. Reaching the fingers up, kind of reaching with your right arm, reaching with your left to find this almost rounding of the upper back. Reach, hold there. And then with an inhale, again, bring the arms up overhead. Stretch and lengthen through the fingertips. And then arms widen down as if you're making a snow angel. Let's do that one more time to complete that angel. With an inhale, bringing arms wide and up. Stretching overhead, and then with an exhale, arms wide and down, back to your sides. From here, we're going to release our knees in towards our chest. You might need to press away from your wall a little bit, just as it sounds, using your feet up against the wall to push your body away from the wall a little bit. Draw your knees in towards your chest. If the positioning's right, you might even keep your feet on the wall, using the wall as a little bit of resistance, because that feels good sometimes. You might gently rock side to side. From here, we're going for a figure four. So we're going to bring that left leg up against the wall. If you did push yourself away from the wall, just reach out a little bit with the leg. That's okay. If you moved completely away from it, that's okay too. We're going to cross the right ankle on top of the left thigh. And that left leg is going to be up the wall, or whatever else you're using as a wall. See if that right leg can relax away from your body, if the knee can move away from your body. Take a couple of breaths there. Hopefully your body doesn't feel too tight here, so that this can be a passive posture for now. If your body does feel real tight, if the hips and knees or anything else feels terribly tight here, remove that left foot from the wall and place the foot down on the ground. See if that helps. We'll take about 3 more breaths here on this side. And then we're going to go to the other side. So releasing the right leg and just switching. Left hip and knee open, and left ankle comes to rest on the right thigh. Right leg moves up the wall or wherever else you are in your leg there. Now, if you are at the wall, we're going to use a butterfly pose against the wall. So bringing the bottom of the feet together and gently pressed against the wall. You might want to adjust this, scooting your bottom closer or further away from the wall to make it most comfortable. If you're not at the wall, you can bring your feet together and grab them with your hands or a strap or something else. You can also just grab hold of your thighs if reaching the feet isn't accessible to you. Shoulders relaxed as best you can. Face is soft and easy. Breath is deep. Loosen your jaw, making your jaw a little bit softer. You might even kind of rock your jaw side to side or let your jaw fall open or your mouth fall open to let it just relax. All right, from here, we're gonna go ahead and come up to seated. So release your feet if you're holding on to them. Press away from the wall, turn to your side, and press away from the floor to come up to seated. Come into a comfortable seated position, whatever that is for you. Maybe it's legs wide, maybe it's on a chair this morning. Maybe it's cross-legged or legs out in front of you. Maybe it's a butterfly pose. Whatever feels comfortable for you to sit in this morning is where you want to find yourself. Okay, sitting up nice and tall, we're going to lower our chin down towards our chest. And then we're going to rock our chin side to side. So to the left, to the right, side to side. Notice what that feels like, and if you have any restrictions in your neck, you can spend a little bit of time in a stretch there if that feels good. Or you can keep the movement going. And then slowly raise your chin up to stretch the throat. Lengthening your spine. Lifting your upper body upward. Shoulders relaxed. And bring your head back to center. See if you feel a little bit taller there. I feel a little bit taller after doing that. From here, we're going to do a little bit of abdominal strengthening and some back strengthening in a boat pose. So let's bring our knees together, feet flat on the ground. All right. So knees are bent to about just below your chest, to your sternum area. Good. We're gonna grab hold of our legs just for a little stability until we get started. See if you can press your feet into the ground, which is kind of hard to do in this position, but see if you can do it. And then we're gonna lift our back up, draw our shoulders back away from our ears, pull our tummy in and upward, and then lean back. Now, if you need to keep your hands on your thighs to keep you supported here, you can. Otherwise, we're going to climb an imaginary rope. So imagine that we're climbing up a rope. Bring your right arm up and then your left arm up. Pull down and alternate. Look up towards your hands and reach. Really reach with the right arm. Reach with the left arm. Reach. Reach. See if you can keep your knees together. That's pretty tough depending on what your hip flexors are willing to do here. But reach. But if anything's causing discomfort or tired, just come into a break. Otherwise, remember to breathe. We're going to do this for a little while longer. Don't hold your breath. All right, and then come forward, bring your hands around your shins, spread your legs a little bit, round your spine, drop your chin, and rest. Excellent, bring your knees back together. And we're gonna try to go to another boat with our feet off the ground this time. So again, lifting the chest up, drawing the navel in and up, lean back slightly, and then see if you can bring your feet off of the ground. Keep the knees bent. We're not going for straight legs here. Knees bent, feet off of the ground. Arms off to your sides if you can. If not, use them to hold your thighs. Try pointing your toes in this position. Remember to breathe. And come forward, feet on the ground, hands wrapped around the shins. Relax your head down. All right, let's come to our hands and knees. We want to align our wrists directly underneath our shoulders and our hips directly under our knees directly underneath our hips as best we can. And let's go into a spinal balance here. We're going to start by drawing our left leg back, toes curled under, and then up, so that the thigh is parallel to the ceiling. If it feels safe to you, right arm's going to come straight out in front of you, trying to make it also parallel to the ceiling. As we lift the leg, we want to keep the hip facing downward. So we don't want to open the hip as we're pulling the leg back. We want to keep the hip facing downward. See if you can breathe deep into your belly from here. One more breath. And pull it in. Let's go to the other side. Right leg comes back, toes curled under, and lift the leg up, parallel to the ceiling. Again, don't open the hip, let the hip face downward. If it feels safe for you, left arm reaches straight out. See if you can press away from the ground with your right arm, your right hand. One more breath. And come back to your hands and knees. From here, right into a cat pose. Drop your chin, round your spine. Press through the floor with your hands and your feet. See if moving your head around here in a cat pose would feel good. Maybe shaking your head no, or nodding it yes, or something else. And with an inhale to a cow pose. Stretching through the front of the body in your cow pose. One more time back to cat. And then we're going to lower the seat downward, keeping the spine rounded. So the rounded spine, but we've brought our hips back. Little bit like a high child's pose. And come back forward. Okay. From here, we're going to go into a gentle downward facing dog. So wrists directly underneath the shoulders, curl the toes under, knees off of the ground, hips raise up, head drops down, nice long spine. Lower the knees right back down, and then lower the bottom down where we'll take a child's pose. Taking a couple of breaths there. And then come back to hands and knees. From here, we're going to do a difficult transition. If you've been in my classes before, you know about this difficult transition. We're going to do a flow from our tabletop into a cobra pose and into child's pose. So we start in our tabletop, and then we send our chest forward, lower down to the ground, lift the chest up, and then child's pose. Let's do that again. Tabletop, that's hands and knees. Shift weight forward, lower your hips, come down to the ground. Raise the chest up, cobra pose. Push through to child's pose. Let's try it again. Hands and knees. Send the weight forward, drop the hips, lower down to the ground. Lift the chest up. Come all the way up, child's pose. One last time. Inhale, tabletop. Right on through. Exhale, down to cobra pose. Or I'm sorry, down to the ground, up to cobra pose, and then child's pose. Very nice. Take time here to move your wrists. And let's come back to hands and knees, where we're going to take a downward facing dog one more time. Wrists align directly underneath the shoulders. Fingers facing forward, curl the toes under, lift the hips up. Downward facing dog. When you're ready, walk your feet forward to come to a forward fold. And then bring yourself all the way up to standing. Mountain pose. With an inhale, bring your arms wide, reach up tall, palms face toward each other, touch the sky. Palms together, exhale, bring your hands right through heart center and down into a forward fold. Release your hands downward. With an inhale, come right halfway back up, extend through the spine, send your hips back. With an exhale, bring your hands down. We're stepping back into a plank pose if that's available to you. If not, come to hands and knees. Then we're shifting our weight forward, lowering down to the ground. With an inhale, lift your chest up. And with an exhale, child's pose. With an inhale, come back to tabletop position. With an exhale, curl your toes under, press up to downward facing dog. With an inhale, walk your feet up towards your hands, forward fold, and then exhale there. With an inhale, draw your tummy in, arms wide, come all the way up to standing, reach up tall. Palms together, look up, and exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. Another resting breath. Inhale, arms wide, reach up. Exhale, hands down to your heart. We're gonna try to do 2 more of those sun salutations. Modify as you need to, or take a break through them if you need to. Mountain pose. Inhale, arms wide, reach up. Bring your palms together, stretch. Exhale, hands right through heart center. Come down, release the hands, release the head. Inhale, come halfway back up, lengthen through the spine, pull the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, hands come down. We're stepping back to either plank pose or hands and knees, where you'll take a breath. And then you'll shift your weight forward and lower down to the ground. With an inhale, lift your chest up to a cobra pose or thereabouts. An exhale is going to take us right back to a downward facing dog. You can take a child's pose here if you need to instead. And from here, making our way back to a forward fold. Draw your tummy in with an inhale, arms wide, reach up tall, palms together. Let's do that one last time. And an exhale, hands through heart center, forward fold. Inhale, come halfway back up, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, hands down, we're stepping back. Take a breath. Shift your weight forward, lower down to the ground. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, we'll take a child's pose. Lowering your seat down, head down. Let's take one last downward facing dog. Come into your hands and knees, check your alignment, wrists directly underneath the shoulders, curl the toes under, downward facing dog. And walk your feet up to your hands for a forward fold. With an inhale, arms wide, reach up. Palms together overhead. Intertwine your fingers, reach up tall. Draw your tummy in. See if we can't take a little back bend here. Sending your hips forward as we reach up and slightly back. And that was long enough. Come on back to center. Arms down at your side mountain pose. Let's step back on our yoga mat to the back of our mat. Bring your feet hip width apart if they're not already there. And we're gonna tiptoe walk up and back on our mat. Bringing your heels off of the ground. You can have a chair nearby for stability if you need to. And we're gonna just walk up our mat on the balls of our feet and then walk back. You know what? In fact, you guys, we're all home. If you wanted to come off of your mat and just kind of walk around your space, practicing on your tiptoes, you're certainly welcome to do that. Just practicing our balance up and back or all around if you'd like to. This helps to stretch our feet, work our equilibrium. It even works our hips. Keep your tummy drawn in, long legs. Almost done. And then when you're ready, come on back to center. We're almost done because time flies so quickly. Let's take a goddess pose. Coming to a mountain pose, we're gonna turn so that we're sideways on our mat. I'm not gonna turn though, I'm gonna keep facing forward. But we're gonna bring our legs wide, feet facing away from each other, but not so far out that you won't be able to balance. Draw your tummy in, lift your chest up. With an inhale, reach your arms up, lengthen the whole body. And then with an exhale, bend your knees, bend your elbows. Draw your elbows back. Lift your toes up, spread them wide, and then bring them down. See if you can lift up through your pelvic floor here in your goddess pose. Look straight forward. If you'd like to exercise your face and voice, you can add a lion's breath, either quietly or a full breath. And that is eyes crossed, tongue out with a roar from your lungs. So it's an inhale, and then we stretch our face and exhale with a So you can do that. You're muted if you wanted to try that. Helps clean out your lungs, and I recommend you do it 3 times. Now, if you're shy about being in your house by yourself or with your partner and making funny noises, just try stretching your face, tongue out, eyes crossed for a moment. Don't hold it though, or your face might stay like that. It's a joke, of course. One more breath here in our goddess. With an inhale, let's straighten everything up. Going into wheel of vitality with an exhale, bend the right knee, hands come down to the right, and all the way down to the ground as we sweep over towards the left, bend the left knee, straighten the right. Inhale, arms up, straighten through the left leg, reach up tall, and then exhale again, bending the right knee, hands come down to the ground, sweep over to the left, straightening through the right leg, bending the left. Inhale, come up, reach up tall. Exhale to the right, over to the left, inhale, up. Then to the left, we exhale, bending the left knee. Down, over to the right, up. 2 more times. Exhale, down to the left. Sweep the hands across over to the right. And one last time. Reach up tall. Exhale, one final goddess squat. Good. Bend your, with your knees bent, not goddess, send your hips back. See if your hands will come all the way to the ground there with your knees bent like that. And take a couple breaths. For some of us, that's really intense on the hips or the knees, and we might not be able to do that, but we're just leading to the ground. So wherever you're at, come on down to the ground, however you can get there. And I need to check the time. Oh, okay, we're doing okay-ish. All right. Let's do a little bit of tummy work. So coming down to our bellies. Prone position, arms overhead. Oh, mushy. Looking straight down, toes are pointed. And we're gonna, with a straight legs, we're gonna lift our left leg off of the ground and see if we can lift our right arm off of the ground. Good. I'm gonna come see if I can see how we're doing. One more breath here like that. Release it down and the other side. Lifting the other leg, point your toe, lengthen your arm. Remember to breathe. If you get a cramp in your foot, take a break or flex your foot. Good, release it down and take a couple moments rest or rested breath. Okay. Now let's lift both of our arms up at the same time, trying to keep the legs down. With an inhale, both arms up, try to lift your chest, raise your head slightly. Okay. Remembering to breathe. And down. Go ahead and rest, take a resting breath for a minute or two. Not a minute, I'm sorry, a moment, a breath or two. All right, last one, arms out overhead, or if this is getting uncomfortable on your neck or anything, bring your hands to underneath your head. Toes pointed, draw your belly button up towards your spine, and then both legs straight, come up off the ground. Try to keep your upper body down. So upper body down, legs up. And see now if we can bring our upper body up to join the legs. Good. 2 more breaths and remember to breathe. And when you're ready, release it all down. All right, good job. And when you're ready from there, roll over onto your back while we'll prepare for our final resting. Good. All right, guys, we are going to, on our back, bring our knees up towards our chest. We're going for a knee down twist. If you're finding any low back problems, just take a very baby twist. Otherwise, both knees down to the right, arms wide, left shoulder down on the ground. But again, if this causes any pain, support it. You can put pillows or blocks or anything under those knees or under the arm. And if you want to take it deeper, you can straighten the legs out. So the legs would be straight out to the right. Whenever you're ready, with an inhale, bend your knees, bring them back to center, and with an exhale, bring them over to the other side. Moving slowly, always really easing into a twist to give you a clue as to where your body is today and if it can handle, and once that twist and how deep it can go. Again, if you want to take it deeper, you can straighten through the legs. And if you need it not as deep, you can support the legs with blankets or pillows or something else. Kind of like wringing the body out. Getting a new burst of fluids. And then whenever you're ready with an inhale, come back to center. Give your knees a little hug for some equalization there. And then release to let yourself get comfortable in Shavasana, or your final relaxing pose. If Shavasana isn't comfortable, you can come into a different posture. For Shavasana, we're lying flat on our back, looking straight up. Chin is very slightly tucked. Palms facing up as arms are out to our side. We want the shoulders to feel soft. So in my case, that always means I need to lift up my chest and pull my shoulders down a little bit. Feet fall open away from each other. And we just close our eyes. Allow your thoughts to be light and easy. This is only a short time. So you can take this time and let yourself just be easy, not thinking about to-do lists or anything else. Just being comfortable. Nurturing. In a safe little bubble in Shavasana.